Dance from Amisquitchie, Waskahigan.
Hi from Grand Prairie. From the Great Divide Ski Trail in Lake Louise.
From the beautiful gateway city of Prince Albert.
From Drayton Valley.
From Giblin, Métis Settlement.
From Saskatoon on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis Nation.
From the Rocky Mountains, Kenmore, Banff, and Jasper. From Toronto.
From West Craig Creek.
From Dash in BC.
Coming to you from Ottawa.
We're on unceded and unsurrendered Algonquin territory.
From Glendon, Alberta.
From Calgary.
From Amherst, Nova Scotia.
From the Festival of Lights in Sherwood Park, Alberta.
From Edmonton.
From Stoney, Dakota, home of Chiniki, Wesley, and Bears Paw, and from Chester Lake, welcome to Shaping the Future.
From Sherwood Park, Alberta. From the...
On behalf of the entire team at Everactive Schools, hello and welcome to Shaping the Future 2021. Thank you to everyone who contributed to our amazing opening video, and we're so excited to welcome you from near and far. My name is Jamie, and I'll be walking you through a few things before you dive into your sessions today. Our work at Everactive Schools is concerned with nurturing communities of wellness. As we engage this work, we know that at the heart of it is relationship. Relationship with schools, communities, advocates, teachers, students, leaders, relationships with the land, and with each other. As we work to nurture these relationships, we're thinking about how we can move from acknowledgement to action, and how we can unscript our relationships so that we can better live together. With that, I'd like to open our conference by situating us in the land, with each other, and with all of our relations. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the importance of the lands that connect us to one another. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territories of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home, and who have been stewards of this land, the landways, the waterways, since time immemorial. I'm a white settler speaking to you today from Mohkinstsis, or Calgary, which is the traditional and ancestral territory of the Niitsitapi, or Blackfoot peoples, including Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. The Treaty 7 region is also home to Tsuut'ina, the Îyârhe Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley, and Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. We know we're reaching audiences from all over Alberta, and would also like to acknowledge the peoples of the Treaty 6 region, including the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, and the Métis Nation of Alberta Regions 1, 2, 3, and 4. For those of us joining from further north in Alberta, we'd like to acknowledge the peoples of the Treaty 8 region, including the Cree, Dene, Inuit, and Métis Nation of Alberta Regions 1, 4, 5, and 6. We come to this virtual space with gratitude to the ancestors, the elders, knowledge keepers, the land and water protectors, those of the past, those in the present, and those who are in the making today. We also come into this place with the recognition that our responsibility to the land and to each other does not end with acknowledgement. In fact, these words alone do not create change, but it's through action that we live our responsibilities to all of our relations. We can't talk about land and we can't talk about well-being without considering the ongoing legacies of colonization and dispossession of Indigenous peoples from this land. Colonial ways of thinking have and continue to cause harm in communities, and so we come into this place with continued renewed commitment to decolonizing and indigenizing our work. From Sigokatoak, or Lethbridge, to Amisquitchie, Waskahigan, or Edmonton, to Nistawayao, or Fort McMurray, and everyone in between and beyond, we welcome you to Shaping the Future 2021. While we're disappointed that we can't gather in person in Lake Louise for our 12th Shaping the Future, we're so incredibly grateful for this virtual platform, which allows us all to stay safe, and it also provides us opportunities from those of you who are from further away to join us. We have a few awesome people and organizations to thank before we move on to the nitty-gritty today. Firstly, thank you to the Everactive Schools team, and particularly our wonderkind, Haley DeGost, our conference chair. Thank you to our partners, Alberta Blue Cross, Canadian Tire Jumpstart Charity, the Alberta Medical Association, United Way Calgary and Area, the Alberta Teachers Association and Health and Physical Education Council, the Alberta Government, and the Canadian Healthy Schools Alliance. Thank you to our keynote, Shelley Moore, whose presentation is a year in the making. And thank you to all of our presenters for taking a leap and exploring this new way of delivering professional development with us. Lastly, thank you. That's right, you at home, our delegates. Without you, we would just be speaking into the void, or like me, speaking to our cats, which I know a lot of us have been doing over the last 9 months. As of today, January 17th, more than 50 pre-recorded sessions are available for you to watch on your own time. You can access these sessions through our event app, Whova, and you'll have 3 months to watch them. You can join us for our live workshops and our keynote on January 27th to January 29th. The schedule and links to join will also be available through the Whova app. We highly encourage you to explore the event app and make connections with others. After all, networking is an important part of shaping the future. You can check out the conversation topics, article sharing, Q&As, and of course, you can visit the virtual exhibitor booths. I hear the AMA Youth Run Club is giving away an Apple Watch, so you might want to check out that. If you have any questions throughout the duration of the conference, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Everactive team, either through Whova or by email at info@everactive.org. Now, it is my utmost honor to introduce Helmer Two Young Men for a smudge, prayer, and story to kick things off.
Amastets Lagoa. In Nakota, it means it's a beautiful day, my friend. Before we start anything, we always smudge and ask the Creator and the four directions. So here I have some smudge that came from the mountain. And my late mom, Georgina Two Young Men, taught me how to use this. So I will carry on the tradition. And now I invite my friends to smudge. And I'll pray in my own language. Oh, signo kaino, nangahan yang banumba, ano ganeta something. And no whining in Davids, Davi Yapajabik teacher, in the house was the gets. And down just Tabinia, was baby in the Nahakogia, Yabichin, I was in chance, Chicho, Gistage. How we not pay tune the Anunkine, Asia, or Yomband. Sam Taktam Sino Waka, Sando now. She down, it's in the Ambawa states, first I'll tell you my last name, how we got our last name. My last name is Koska Nomba, which means two young men. My grandma tells me that, I asked her one day, how did we get our name? She said, we always have a naming ceremony. And then in the States where we belong to the Nakota tribe, they had a ceremony that they're going to give us our last name. Just as they have the ceremony, a young woman have two twin boys. So that's how they named us after that. 2 young men. Koshka Nomba. So all of us, people call us Indians, First Nation, but we call ourselves Harmonchasta, which means nature's people. We work with nature. And that's why our last name, maybe Eagle Tail or White Feather, is always tells a story. And then my grandma used to tell me years ago in the States, when that Custer battle happened, Sitting Bull told us to go the 4 directions. So we came up north and came through the mountain behind and came out of Banff. When we came out of Banff, we discovered the hot spring where we used to pray and heal ourselves. And then when we came here, we noticed there's the Blackfoot were here too. Siksika, Pagana, Kanai, and Sarsis, they call themselves, but they changed their name now. And then we came here, we're happy to stay here, and then Indian affairs, we have to sign the treaty with Reverend George McDougall. So they invite us to the Siksika land, where they signed Treaty 7, and we all went there and agreed to sign the land. And then and years goes on, we found out that the Cree people, the Northern Cree, they were always come around here. And when they welcome us and they let us stay. And I always thank them for that we remain here and share the land together. And as the years goes by, my grandma told me that we used to trade from each other, learn from each other. The Blackfoot people, they teach us how to make I call it a lard, peanut butter we call it, but it's made out of choke cherries, where they chop it, and it really is so delicious. And then the Shuswap, they teach us how to catch the elk, the deer, the moose. So the Shuswap came, and we call them Tahmungebin, which means people that snare. Those are the ones that teach us how to snare all those 3 animals, the moose, the elk, the deer. And where we set the snare, there's always a swampy area where there's mud is so, tastes like it's salty taste. So every evening the animals go there and lick salt. And the Shuswap taught us that there's a path that they go in, you set your snare there. And then the hunters will wait in the evening. Where did we get our snare? From the raw hide of the animals. As soon as a moose or whatever comes in there and get snared, we pray, smudge, and took the life of the animal. And we thank Mother Nature and the Wakang. And then we divide equally. The meat and the hide they make into clothing. The deers are good for gloves, and the elk hide is good for shirt and pants. And the moose, we make teepees out of it. And then it takes to tan a hide, it'll take at least 2 weeks. And to make a small little teepee that 4 people live in, it'll take about at least a month. When it's all set up, they really take care of it. And then, one day, the Cree people, they teach us how to, they have those wall wolf and they put travoid on them. And then that's how we travel. We put our teepee in a bag, a tan hide teepee, and we travel from place to place. And then we call it shunga. And then all of a sudden from the south, those American people brought the horses in from Spain. So we call it Shungatanga, which means big dog. Today, we still call them Shungatanga. And then we always used to trade, which I really love. Where we get our fruit is from the southern part of the United States. I think it's the Mandan. They brought the fruit, vegetables, potatoes, everything. And the Shuswap bring there's medicine. And us Nakotas, we bring out hide. And the black with jam, peanut butter. And the Cree, this much. And fruit too. So we all go over there and we trade from each other. And then it always happened in October. And then when we get back, in October, we always celebrate of what the Great Spirit Wakan give us. And it's called Pejudagai Thambi, which means healing medicine dance. And today, they call it Thanksgiving. And that's how we survive. And the thing that I like is that we all help each other. Unite together and help each other. And all the herbs that we collect, we share each other, and that's our healing medicine. And even today, I go out and I pick all the herbs. Like I just came back an hour ago, people asked for some herbs for healing, so I give it to them. We never sell them. What they did to us is they give an offering of tobacco. And years ago, it used to be Ontario, but they give an offering of tobacco and gas money to cover your driving. And now, I like to start up a youth camp from young people to find their culture, where they came from, to understand. Because you never know what's going to happen in the future.
Thank you all for being here, and we hope you enjoy the conference. Take care.